Okay, it is time to check out the toning experiment. This is going to be the final check-in for some of these. I'm going to continue on with a few of the coins, but I'm going to wrap up the experiment on some of these. And so the next toning experiment video, I'm going to decide on between now and then what I'm going to do with this experiment video series going forward. So here we go. Let's open these up. I'll put on some music and we'll look at these really closely, and then I'll take some pictures and we'll go over the comparison video. All right, let's do this. Intro, take 473. Cue music. Cue coins.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Now pick them up. I'm not rich. Okay, before we look at the coins, let's check out the temperature and humidity chart. This is the final check-in for these 4 locations. And we're going to look at this line here. Let's see, the highest temp recorded was in the basement, 74.7. And the lowest temp recorded was also in the basement, 65.1 for the past couple months. Lowest humidity was also in the basement at 42. And the highest humidity was actually in the entry drawer on the first floor at 65. There was a lot of rain these past few weeks, and I think that is why the entry door over near the entry has a little bit higher humidity this time. So that is definitely some interesting stats. And if you'd like to pause and record and see here, and here is the average down here for the whole, let's see, it was about 10 months. Yeah, about 10 months that I have recorded. And this is just the average here. of the temperatures and humidity, and pretty much we've got mid 60s to mid 70s. Low to mid 70s is the temperature across the board. And the average humidity was low to mid 40s to anywhere 50, mid 50s to at most spots, and a high humidity of 62 in the basement. So the basement overall had the highest humidity. At whole, roughly 7 to 10 percentage points higher than everywhere else. So that's interesting as well. And here is the lowest and the highest on record for the past 10 months that I recorded stuff. Just so you can see that as well. Yep, some interesting stuff there. But let's get into the coins. Okay, here is the control. Not much has changed over the past year. It is slightly bit toned, but having being in a flip and with the silica gel, I'm sure that has helped it from not toning. And here's the reverse. Again, the lighting in the beginning showed a little more reflectivity, and I have fixed my lighting a little bit here. So the lighting is a little bit better. You can see the surface a little bit better than it was in the first photo. But yeah, overall not much changed. Maybe some slight toning, but over a year compared to the other coins, that's a pretty significant difference. So here is the basement shelf, the first one. And as you can see, it is quite a bit more toned here. How about that? And here is the reverse. This is the 40%. You see it did have some spots on it again, but you can see just how deep brown this tone has gotten over the year. And I'm sure if I left it here, it would just continue to get more and more brown. Here is the 90% from the shelf, and you can see here, it looks like there might even be some just some different shades of brown and reds forming. So that is interesting to note. And then some of the spots have gotten darker that were there to begin with. So overall, yeah, quite a bit of toning in the past year, past 12 months. Here's the reverse. And yeah, you can see definitely a difference there. Let's check out the basement drawer. And this looks toned, maybe not quite as much as the shelf, but still quite a bit toned. This one's more evenly across the surface, a lot more on the cheek than the one on the shelves, I believe. Let's just click back. There is a little bit in the hair, but I think this one has a more even tone, a bit more browns on it across the face and the bust of Kennedy here. And all the spots are darker. Here's the reverse. The reverse. Wow. This is really toned up quite a bit. That is nice. I think I've had the coin sitting face up in the flips or in the envelopes. So the reverse was on the bottom against the drawer in the envelopes, of course, but so the less space might be causing more contact to the paper and causing more toning. So flipping the coins every once in a while, flipping your envelopes, might cause a more even toning on the obverse and reverse. Here is the 90% from the basement drawer, and as you can see, very evenly dark toning. I can't tell if this is a grayish brown or if it's just darkening up. Again, more time would allow this to tone quite a bit more. Here's the reverse. Of course, reverse was probably had more surface contact to the paper because it was laying flat on the bottom of the drawer. So um, a nice even toning, a little bit more than the obverse. Now the next two coins were standing straight up. This is the closet shelf, and you can see this one has quite a bit of toning all over it. It's not as much as the ones in the basement as I originally thought, but it has toned up quite decently. Here's the reverse. The reverse was probably leaning against the wall because I've had these taped up on their sides, and the reverse was probably touching the wall because I've tried to put them in obverse towards the front of the envelope every time. Ooh. All right. I got away from me. Here is the obverse of the 90%. 1964 Kennedy. You can see the spots that were there have darkened up quite a bit. Um, Debris and objects on the surface will cause more toning to coins. You see the hair, there's some spots. This one's kind of getting a little bit grimy, although it is has a nice even tone across the surface. Um, Here is the reverse. And again, there are some spots here that have toned up darker in places, and a nice overall brown tone across the reverse. And then the final of the original coins here. This is the 40% from the entry drawer. A pretty even, nice even tone. It's got some little darks around the outside a little bit, where the tone was before I started. And then here's the reverse. And again, a nice even brown tone to it. All right, let's go check the 90%. This one has toned up quite a bit, and you can see it on the cheek and neck here. Very, very brown all over the obverse. This might be the most toned out of all of them. It might have started as the most toned because it does have quite a bit of toning. You can see around here. So, but still, might be the most dramatic of all the coins that I started with a year ago. And here is the reverse, and you can see the reverse, nice, even golden brown tone to it. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Now we're going to go into the next coin. This is the ones that are on my desktop, one in an envelope and one open. And a start. It hasn't been a year for these. It's been roughly 6 months. And that should say 6 months on these. So do keep that in mind. So for over the past 6 months, some of the spots have darkened. And this seems about how the coins were, the original coins were. The spots darkened up quite a bit faster than the flat surfaces. And unfortunately, when I took this photo here, it came out a bit more brown, and this one came out a bit more white. Again, my camera, I'm using my phone camera, and it is getting worse as the months go by, and I've got to do something about that as well. But overall, not much change for this one. And here's the reverse. As you can see, some of the spots in the fields here are a bit darker. The fields are a bit darker, and again, this one's been laying face down in the envelope, so the reverse has a little more contact, direct contact to the paper than the obverse does. So it does look like it is maybe toning up a little bit, because even with the difference in the picture quality from the two, it looks almost evenly dispersed. And as if this one has a little bit browner picture quality, and this one's has a little bit more wider picture quality. Then yeah, it's definitely toned up a little bit. Here next is the one that is open on the desktop, and again you can see the difference in the photo quality. Um, Surprisingly, this one doesn't seem to have a whole lot of tone on it. It's got this green spot forming here, and a little bit of green forming here. Again, I'm pretty sure that is some toning. I don't think it's anything that we'd have to worry about, but I'm keeping an eye on it. I've looked closely at it, and it looks like just some green spots are forming. And then let's go to the reverse. Here's the reverse. And this one I've kind of flipped every once in a while. You see some of the spots are a little bit darker that were there originally, but not much has changed on it so far, and this is 6 months. And then the final coin we're looking at is the one in the fridge, and this should say 4 months. Yeah, 4 months instead of a year. We've had this one in the fridge for 4 months, and if I had said in 4 months when we check, there's not going to be hardly any difference in this coin, I would have said you were crazy. But in the fridge, cold, damp, in an envelope, and not much has changed on the obverse. Let's check the reverse. It's been sitting face up in the envelope, so the reverse has had more contact with the paper, and not much in the way has changed as well. I mean, you can see maybe a little bit of tone forming in here, because it looked like the surface here is a bit more natural, and there's some tone forming on here. So yeah, it's looks like it's starting to, but I'm surprised that it's not toned a little bit faster than the others. Um, so for the ones number 6 and number 7 coins here, the ones on the desktop and the ones and the one in the fridge, I'm going to continue with those. And the others 1 through 5, I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with those coming up here soon. So yeah, that's where we're at. Some interesting findings, some interesting toning and not toning, and yeah, some very interesting, dramatic, different tones on these coins. So let me know what you think of these in the comments below. Okay, so what I'm going to do with these is these ones that are newer additions, I'm going to place these back where they were, and I'm going to keep going with these. All these ones that have been going for a year, I am going to pack up, and I'm going to bring these to the coin show. I'm leaving Monday. I'm leaving today. It is just after midnight on the 26th. I'm going to hop in the car and I'm going to drive. I'm going to bring these with me so people at the show can see them. Just the ones that have been going for a year. And then after the show, for the next video, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with those. I'll also bring this one here that's been on my desk just so people can see. This is one that has been cleaned, has been dipped, has some problems with it, so it's only worth its silver weight in gold, but it does have some interesting toning that's formed sitting here on the desk. So I'll probably bring this one with me as well, just because it looks interesting and it's been part of some of the videos, so I'll do that. And yeah, that will be definitely a fun trip. Okay, so I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up, helps me out. Drop a comment down below, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought of the coin toning experiment and how it went. And yeah, if you are at the coin show, do stop by and see the coins that have toned, and say hi. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a great day.